Travis Kelce amongst tight ends in receptions and receiving yards. So you have been balling, sir, and I just want to make sure everyone at home is aware of that beyond Raiders Nation. But first, let me start with this. Major story of the day, Deshaun Watson demanding a trade. What are your thoughts on that?
I feel like Deshaun Watson, at this point, all that he's done for Houston and that franchise, I feel like he has the right to express how he truly feels. He's invested so much into that organization that he's earned the right to have that voice, and they should listen to him. And I feel like it's okay for him to express how he feels. And if he wants to go somewhere else with his career, then I'm all for that.
We see this kind of stuff happening, Darren, and welcome to the show. Thank you so much. But we see this kind of stuff happening primarily in the sport of the National Basketball Association. It's rare that we've seen something like this happen in the National Football League. As a player in the National Football League, what enters your mind when you hear a player, particularly of his caliber, take this kind of staunch position? How does it resonate with y'all? Not necessarily about him, but about the team he plays for and how players in the National Football League are getting treated by some organizations. What are your thoughts?
When you see something like that, you just know that there's a divide there. The best organizations in the league, there's a camaraderie, there's a togetherness, there's the front office, the coaches, and the players on the same page. And when you see a guy like Deshaun, take that stance, you know that there's a divide. Like, he's a champion. We know that. We know his pedigree. And there's something there in that organization that isn't sitting right with him. With all that he's put in, he feels like there's no change that's going to be there. And that's a tough place to be as a player, because you can do all that you can and control what you can control. But when it's not being met on the other side, it's very frustrating.
Meantime, Deshaun Watson, I've been saying, is probably second most trade value in the NFL, given his age and his ability and everything, behind Patrick Mahomes, who's a guy who's gone 25-1, or who's on a team that just went 25-1 in their last 26 games. There was one team that beat them. I don't know if you know who it is off the top of your head, but I suspect that you do. What is the key to beating the Kansas City Chiefs?
You got to be firing on all cylinders for sure. When we beat them, we had explosive pass plays, a few that were over 50 yards, explosive runs that were over 50 yards. The defense had multiple turnovers, so it's got to be every part of the game that's contributing. It can't just be one part, because they're such a good team at this point in the season. Their defense is always playing their best at this time. What their offense brings to the table is just, it's a freak show over there. So, you got to be on top of every aspect of the game. One small slip in any small area can be what breaks the game open for them. So I would say, explosive plays on offense and turn the ball over and getting sacks on defense.
What the hell happened to y'all, man? Y'all were 6-4. Y'all looked like y'all were en route to go into the playoffs, and then y'all ended up 2-4 over your last 6 games. Finished as a 500 team. What happened? What happened to the Las Vegas Raiders?
When you look back over the last 2 years, like a similar trend happened. So I would probably say that goes into attention to detail as we go down through the season. Got the small things are what separate those games that we lose, and you can go by and cruise by off energy and enthusiasm and things like that early in the season. But when it gets tough in the later half and it gets cold and the road gets tougher, we got to be on top of the details and come to work with that same level of energy, even an increased energy, to be a championship team and be considered in those playoff games. So, things like that got to change. We got to step up our ball security on offense. Can't be turning the ball over or falling short in the red zone. These are things that we have to fix in order to get where we want to go.
You've played both teams in the Super Bowl this year. So you faced both defenses. Which defense is more of a problem, the Bucs or the Chiefs?
I'll probably have to go with the Bucs. You look at the front. You got Shaq Barrett, who led the league in sacks in 2019. You got Pierre Paul, who I think was the toughest person I had to pass protect against this year, and is playing some of the best of his career. You got the linebacker duo in there, which is the best I probably ever played against at any level. And their DBs can make plays as well, like Murphy Bunting, Carlton Davis, Whitehead flying around back there. So they've got talent on every single level and guys that can make impact plays. But I'm not going to sell the Kansas City defense short either. Not with Tyrann Mathieu out there, Frank Clark, guys like that. They get better as the season goes along, better than anyone I've seen in the past couple of years.
What's it like to play for Chucky? That's what people affectionately call him. He's the great John Gruden. We miss him. He is the voice of Monday Night Football. He did an outstanding job for us for many years, even though Louis Riddick and the crew are doing a great job now. Wanted to know your thoughts, because when we think about the Raiders, you think about John Gruden. Chucky, as they call him from time to time, from that doll that always looked like his face was messed up, all of that stuff. But anyway, Chucky, what's it like playing for him?
It's amazing playing for Coach Gruden. He's got an infectious energy about him, and it's always positive. Speaking greatness into people. Like when I first got to the team, I was just, a guy trying to keep a job because I was always in trouble and things like that. But he was speaking greatness into me, and that kind of planted seeds for me to, take off with my career. And it's always things like that. He'll get after you if the effort and things like that aren't there. But he's a guy that loves everyone that's a part of the team, a part of the building, a part of the franchise, and he just makes it fun to come in and come to meetings and come to practice every day.
Darren, huge congrats on an incredible season by you personally. And let me ask you this, because I'm going to be asking folks this quite a bit over the next week, but you're the first person I get to. I'm super excited for the Super Bowl. As we mentioned, you played both teams. Who's winning it? Is it Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, or is it Tom Brady and the Bucs?
I'm going with the Bucs, and I think if the Bucs win, I feel like there's going to be a defensive Super Bowl MVP.
Interesting. I didn't expect to hear you say that.
The Bucs have the better defense.
You do know that you got to face the Kansas City Chiefs twice next year, right? You know that, right? You just picked against them.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. They might remember that. You know that, right? It's
okay.
All right.
Okay.
Darren, thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate you.
He's got to play their defense, Stephen A. If he was a defender, maybe it'd be a little different.
Yes. I feel you.
Exactly. All right. Thanks, Darren. Take care. We'll keep it moving here, guys.
Thanks, Darren.
This year's Super Bowl game features a matchup between two most clutch quarterbacks in the game. Patrick Mahomes erased a 10-point fourth-quarter deficit to lead the Chiefs to victory in last year's Super Bowl, while Tom Brady has several come-from-behind wins in the big game, most notably a 28-3 deficit with Atlanta. Max, I'll start with you. Who do you trust more with the game on the line? The big fella, Damian Woody, is back. Who's more clutch, Brady or Mahomes?
Patrick Mahomes. If the question is football, the answer is Patrick Mahomes. I trust him more with the game on the line, the game not on the line, in the first quarter, in the fourth quarter. I trust him the most because he's the best. And I'll say that I've seen Mahomes and Brady link up when Brady had all the experience in the world, had already 5 Super Bowl championships, and Mahomes was in his first season as a starter. I saw what happened at the end of that game. Tom Brady threw an interception to end the game. A pre-snap penalty gave him the ball back. Understand, Mahomes never got to touch the ball. I saw Brady throw the interception. The game should have been over. I also saw Mahomes not touch the ball. It's my belief to this day that had Mahomes gotten the ball, he'd be working on his 3rd consecutive Super Bowl win. By the way, I am done. I'm finished with the business of predicting Tom Brady's demise. That's not what this is about. He's been outstanding at his age or any age. But Mahomes is playing the quarterback position, I believe, at the highest level it's ever been played.
Couple of things. Number one, Tom Brady was not outstanding in the second half last week when he threw 3 interceptions. Let's remember that. Even though we applaud him and we think he's great and it's phenomenal that he's in this position, the second half was not that great. Having said all of that, it's not that definitive to me when it comes to Mahomes over Brady, because Brady is the 6-time champion. He is the guy that went to 9 Super Bowls. One of the Super Bowls he lost throwing for 505 yards against the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not going to sleep on it. In just one game in the clutch moment. Tom Brady, as far as I'm concerned, if you're good enough to be in a clutch moment in a particular game, then why shouldn't I bet on Tom Brady once that clutch moment arrives? To me, he's somebody that you got to take out, put him behind the 8 ball, have him playing catch up. But if it's a nip and tuck and he's balling and it's a close clutch situation, I can't summarily dismiss that. And as it pertains to Patrick Mahomes, Max, I want to say one other thing before we move on here. Patrick Mahomes is phenomenal. Deshaun Watson, it's nice to hear you acknowledge again that he's phenomenal as well. But you're quick to say he's not Patrick Mahomes. Brandon Cooks, Will Fuller, as opposed to Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce.
Not the same, huh?
Let me see Deshaun Watson with Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, and then tell me he's not Patrick Mahomes. Until then, I'm not so sure. But to get back to Brady and Mahomes, just a clutch situation, not long, a season long or anything, just one clutch situation. For example, a Super Bowl's on the line, last 5 minutes, it's nip and tuck. I'm going to bet against Brady? I don't think so.
Boy, y'all put me in a position.
Yeah, you know.
Y'all put me in a position, an untenable position. I've seen 12 do it 6 times. 6 times I've seen 12 do it. That's crazy. But I also know that Patrick Mahomes is the best football player in the National Football League. Patrick Mahomes can do things off platform, can do things when things break down as good as any player, or probably better, in the National Football League. And so, for that reason alone, I'm going to give Patrick Mahomes the edge, because I think Tom Brady is a little bit more reliant, on all the pieces around him. When things happen, if the Chiefs bring the blitz and have more rushers than you have blockers, can Tom Brady weasel his way out of it, make things happen like a Patrick Mahomes can? I mean, those are the little things that we're talking about here. And so for me, I want to give the slight edge to the young Ferrari in Patrick Mahomes.
Wow, the former Patriot, the 2-time Super Bowl champ. Okay, Damian Woody, I see you going with the Chiefs. I'm glad you're an unbiased analyst. You're an unbiased analyst, and I'm proud of you right there. What? What are we not going to do?
Are you trying to say that I'm biased? Are you trying to say that I'm biased,
No, I said you're
Molly?
unbiased. I said that was an unbiased pick. I'm very proud of you. Even though you've got 2 Super Bowls, a lot of that thanks to Tom Brady, you still